Hey guys, hey y'all. So keep in mind the themes that we're looking at. So we're talking about the cup, abundant, brimming, runs over, prosperity and blessing. We're talking about Jesus being that abundant life, that Him coming so that we could have that abundant life. We're talking about the cup being our portion or our lot in life. And we're looking at that cup being a symbol of the new covenant, which was ratified by Jesus' blood. And when they took the wine and the bread at the Last Supper, when Jesus is with his disciples, he said, "Take this cup," which is symbolic of, he says, "This cup is the new covenant, ratified and established in my blood. Do this as often as you drink it to call me affectionately to remembrance." So now we're at the wedding in Cana, and we've just talked about yesterday that they had these 6 water pots of stone standing there because of the Jewish custom of purification or ceremonial washing. That was the law. Now, Jesus has instructed his disciples. He said to them, "Fill the water pots with water." And so they did. They filled them to the brim. And then he told them, he said, "Take some out and take it to the manager of the feast." And when he tasted the water, it had turned into wine. Interesting, so many things that are interesting. He's turned the water to wine. Ceremonial washing. I want to go to Matthew 23, verse 25. We're going to come back to John in a little bit. So Matthew 23, verse 25 and 26. Jesus is talking to the Pharisees here. And he says a lot of things to the Pharisees. Calling them out really is what he's doing. But in verse 25, he says, "Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, pretenders, hypocrites, for you clean the outside of the cup and of the plate, but within they are full of extortion, prey, spoil, plunder, and grasping self-indulgence. You blind Pharisees, first clean the inside of the cup and of the plate, so that the outside may be clean also." Okay, when I read that, I truly just sat back and just, whoa, hold on a minute. That connects so many dots. He says, and of course, I found this because I was looking for the word cup. And it says, "You clean the outside of the cup, but the inside is still filthy. First, clean the inside. First, clean the inside, so that the outside may also be clean." Isn't that true of us? So we look at the Old Covenant, we look at the Old Testament, we look at those water pots that the Lord instructed in Exodus 30 to be filled with water for ceremonial washing, so that the priest would be clean to go in to the Holy of Holies. Well, that truly only washed their hands and feet. It cleaned external, but on the inside, still human nature, still, all of that under the weight of curse, and not trusting and sin and selfishness. And so he says here, first clean the inside, then the outside will be clean. And is that not such a beautiful picture of the new covenant and the wine? See, the water was for washing the outside. The wine was for them to drink, which is inside. Just ponder that. Just think about that this old covenant, this first covenant rules and regulations, God did what he had to do to keep a people where he could have someone in some way to pour out his blessings to mankind. And then Jesus came, fulfilling the law, and then ratifying a new covenant that would wash us from the inside out. Washing us from the inside out. And we've talked about this so many times before. And that he said, "I will write their laws. I will write my laws on their heart." That's definitely inside. A heart of flesh, not tablets of stone. And so the wine, symbolic of the blood, which washed, totally cleaned, purified. And let's just end with Colossians 2, because that's one of my favorites. Colossians 2:13. And you who were dead in trespasses and in the uncircumcision of your flesh, which is your sensuality, your sinful carnal nature, God brought to life together with Christ, having freely forgiven us all our transgressions, having canceled and blotted out and wiped away the handwriting of the note and bond with its legal decrees and demands, which was in force and stood against us, or hostile to us. This note, with its regulations, decrees, and demands, he set aside and cleared completely out of our way by nailing it to his cross. God disarmed the principalities and powers that were raged against us and made a bold display and public example of them in triumphing over them in him and in it, the cross. I'm going to leave you with that. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, y'all.